all my friends would get off the bus and they would go home and they'd play video games. And I got off the bus and I would come home to a stack of newspapers about this tall in my living room. And for the next couple of hours, I would take each of these papers, I'd wrap them into the little rubber band, I'd load these bags up, throw these bags over the handlebars of my bicycle. And for the next couple of hours, I would drive around the neighborhood and I would deliver newspapers. And so from a very young age, I understood the principle of hard work. I understood that if I wanted something in my life, that I needed to do something about it, I could go get it, I needed to work for it. But the hard work doesn't always mean success, right? I was a hard worker. I knew how to work hard, but I didn't have a purpose. And oftentimes when you're doing things in life and you're working hard, but there's not a vision, there's not a destination, there's not a purpose to it, it doesn't matter how hard you work, it doesn't matter how resilient you are, eventually you're gonna burn out. And it really forced me to start thinking about my life. What am I doing? Where am I headed? What were some of those dreams that I had when I was a little kid, and where along the way did I forget about them? Some of the best books that were never written, some of the best songs that were never sang, some of the best ideas that were never brought to the world are buried with the people in the cemeteries because they were too afraid to bring them out. They thought too much about what people were gonna think. They thought too much about failure. They thought too much about the criticism. But you see, we don't just happen to be born with limitations, right? It's little by little through these experiences that the world teaches us very quickly that we're nothing special. The things we really want in this life, they're not gonna come all that easy. So you might as well sit down, shut up, and stop dreaming. And little by little, we start to believe that we're not qualified. We start to believe that we don't have what it takes. We start to look around a room like this and we start to compare ourselves, and we always feel like we have less than everybody else. You know that voice that never shuts up in your head that just keeps going and going and going? It's shaping your life. It starts to shape the way you carry yourself. It starts to shape the way you talk to and about other people. The problem is, a lot of us, we want positivity in our life. We want encouragement, but we're planting nothing but negativity. We're criticizing, we're condemning, we're complaining, we're putting other people down, we're gossiping, and then we want encouragement and we want positivity. Life is like a boomerang. Whatever you put out into it is the same as what you're gonna get back. My mom, I remember, she would never let us leave for the bus stop without stopping each of us. And she would come up and she would grab us by the forehead and she'd kiss us on the forehead and she'd say things like, "You're strong, you're capable, you're healthy, you're talented." And I remember when I was younger, I didn't realize what she was doing. She wasn't stating the obvious, she was speaking that into my life. She was planting seeds in me as a kid. And I can tell you, without a doubt, to this day, there's been stages that I felt like I did not belong on. There have been rooms that I felt like I was not qualified to be in. And it was in those moments that the seeds that my mom planted into me years ago started to take root and started to bear their fruit. And I started asking myself, why can't I do what these other incredible people are doing? Why can't I step out there and do and have an impact on the world? Why can't I go and pursue my dream? Sometimes you gotta stop and you gotta ask yourself, where am I headed? What do I want out of my life? What kind of legacy do I want to leave? Who do I want to surround myself with? What kind of things do I want to be doing? And then stepping back into today and making sure that the steps that I take on a daily basis, that they're matched up with that vision, with that end destination. That's what this principle is about. This is about remembering what you have going for you. I promise you, you have a lot more going for you than you probably even realize at this time in your life right now. Some of us right now, I can walk over to my phone, I can call my dad and I can ask him for advice. He'll pick up right now. I can call my mom, I can tell her I love her. And for so many people in this room right now, that's already not possible. And so oftentimes we take things for granted. We take opportunities for granted. We take people for granted. We take things in our life for granted. And oftentimes when we lose it, that's when we look back and we realize what we had. So I'm asking you, start to realize what you have in your life right now and make a practice of it. This is gonna change your life. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Michael, you're asking us to give more as if we don't already have enough on our plate, as if we don't already have enough on our schedule, as if we don't have already enough going on in our lives. And I'm saying yes. But I'm saying in order to give more of yourself, in order to give more of who you truly are, you've got to cut some things out of your life. Some of us, we gotta cut some people out of our life. Sometimes we gotta cut some friends out of our life that are taken away from our vision, taken away from who we are. Start to chip away from things that are just taking your time, that are just keeping you busy, but they're not really allowing you to give to the world, to dig deep and to give to the world what you actually have to offer. Life's got problems. There's a lot of us deal with them. There's not a single person in this room right now who doesn't deal with an incredible amount of problems in their life. We all deal with them. But the perspective with this is not here's what happened to me and here's why I am the way that I am, but here's what happened to me, and I'm not going to let what happened to me define who I am going forward. I'm not going to let the things people said, I'm not going to let the things that people did rob me of my future. Don't let your past rob you of your future. Take control. This is just about taking responsibility. There's a lot of things in your life that you have no control over. I understand that. But there are a lot of things that you do have control over. So take control of the things that you have control over, let the other things take care of themselves. I truly believe that every single person that walks this earth has skills, talents, abilities. And I understand there's people in this room right now who know what it is that you want in life. And so for you, I'm asking you to step on the gas. Lean into it. Wake up every day and add some urgency to it. But I also know there's people in this room right now who still don't quite have that figured out. Maybe you're in this room and you're still asking yourself questions. Maybe you're still asking yourself what it is that you want to do. You still haven't quite pinned down that theme that you want to do with your life. Start to follow people that inspire you. Pick up books, start to read. One book changed my life. You have no idea what you can put out into the world that can change somebody's life, that can inspire somebody, that can spark something in someone else's life. It's easy to post on social media and talk about what you're going to do. It's a whole other thing then to go home, put the boots on, and get to work. And that's what this principle is all about. It does not matter what I say to you up here today. It does not matter what you learn in the workshops tomorrow. It does not matter what you learn through this entire conference. If there's no implementation process, if there's no immediate action taken, nothing will change. Your life, you will be the same person when you leave this conference as you were when you came here. If you want to change, you want to go back different, implement what you learn. Find ways to take even the small step, it'll change your life. Get up as many times as you've been knocked down. Life will knock you down, I promise. Maybe up to this point, things have worked out for you, but there is coming a time, and I'm not speaking this into your life, I'm just saying that life has a way of trying us. As a matter of fact, the bigger the goal, the bigger the dream that you have, the harder it's going to be. The longer it's going to take for you to get there. The more obstacles you're going to face along the way. And this principle right here, this will change everything for you. If you develop the mindset that you're going to get up as many times as you get knocked down, that you're going to keep trying, that you're going to keep pushing yourself, no amount of obstacles are going to throw you off. You tell me to go away 20 times, I'll come back for the 21st time. That's the only skill or talent I had, was that I just refused to go away. If you can develop that mindset, if you can commit to yourself that you're going to refuse to go away, it doesn't matter what happens, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, it doesn't matter how many times they don't call your name up, you're going to keep coming back, you're going to keep growing in the process, you're going to succeed in every aspect of your life. It was early Saturday morning one time, it was like 7 a.m. My dad's out there with a chainsaw and he's cutting trees down. And we're supposed to be following behind him, cleaning branches up. And we're griping, we're complaining, our hair's a mess, we'd rather be in bed. And my dad finally had enough of our complaining. He stops, puts his chainsaw down, and he says, you guys are my boys. It does not matter how much you gripe, it does not matter how much you complain, it does not matter how lazy you are. I love you, it's not gonna change how I view you. But he says, but one day you're gonna get jobs. And one day you'll have a boss. Or maybe you'll be the boss and you'll have employees. He said, then it's never okay to gripe and complain and be lazy. He says, if there's nothing to do, pick up a broom and start sweeping. He says, if there's truly nothing to do, never let your boss catch you with your hands in your pockets. Or if you're the boss, never let your employees catch you with your feet up on the table. He says, pick up a broom and start sweeping. Now, it's not like my dad was trying to get us to become the best sweepers in the world, right? That's not the lesson there. He was teaching us a mindset. That how you do the little things, how you show up, how you carry yourself, it affects every single aspect of your life. It affects the way people view you. It affects the way people interact with you. And for me, that lesson as a young kid, it has shaped every aspect of my life. To this day, it instilled habits in me that still affect the way I approach my marriage. They affect the way I approach my business. They affect the way I approach my writing, my speaking, every aspect of my life. Something that he put into motion years ago. It does not matter how much money you make. It does not matter what personal goals. It does not matter what kind of business you build. No amount of achieving your goals is going to make you happy in your life if you don't understand this principle right here. If you don't turn around on the way to your dreams, if you don't turn around and find someone else to pick up and take along, find someone else who is struggling, find someone else who doesn't know their purpose, find someone else who's just spinning in circles, and bring them along with you along the way to your dreams. They say, a broken world can only be fixed on one condition. It can be fixed by love that's without condition. on your way to your dreams, you're not going to have it all figured out. There's going to be certain things that you're just not going to know when they're going to happen, how they're going to come about. That's why on the way to your dreams, there has to be a little bit of belief. There has to be a little bit of that faith. There has to be a little bit of, I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know when. I don't know where it's going to come from. But I'm going to continue to pursue it. And if I continue to pursue it, from my experience in my life, I've noticed that if I just keep taking a step, even when the destination's not quite clear sometimes, even if I have no idea what's coming, if I just continue to take a step, and I continue to trust, I continue to believe that the dreams that I want are going to happen for me, that it's possible, I've always found that the doors will come around, the doors will open. So choose to believe. I know you've been knocked on your butt before. I know you've tried, put yourself out there, and you failed. I'm asking you to try one more time. I'm asking you to continue to come back. Continue to believe that what you have inside of you, those little dreams, those little things that tug on your heart, that they need to be brought out to the world. Don't bury them. Don't take them down with you. Bring them out. I promise what you have, you might not have enough to get you to where you want to go, but you have enough to get started. Keep trusting yourself, keep believing, and keep taking those steps.